Welcome to Phoenix Healing Podcast, where mental health is our number one priority, featuring Liam Z. Muniz. Enjoy. Hello, my beautiful souls. Welcome to Phoenix Healing Podcast, where mental health is our number one priority, with your host, Liam Z. Muniz. How are you guys doing? I hope you are feeling fantastic, and if not, I hope that somehow our energy exchange can alleviate that pain, girl. Let them know. So, y'all, welcome to episode 15. Yes, I am a week late. I took a little week break from creating and expressing just to kind of be in my little bubble for a little bit and I don't know, get back in tune and grounded with my personal energy so that I can come back being my best self. And with that in mind, the topic for this week is not me forgetting self-commitment. Hold on, y'all. Obviously, that break done fogged up my brain a little bit. But yeah, this week's episode topic is on self-commitment and why I believe that self-commitment is the only commitment that you need to commit to in this life. I know. Let me talk about it. But before we get into it, let's do some affirmations so that we may ground ourselves in our most authentic energy and organically exchange ideas, thoughts, and energies and simply be. Okay. So we're just gonna get into it. Let's take a deep breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. Every time I sit down to record, I get so jittery and like, hold on, yeah, like I need to do a little energy shaky. Okay, but yeah, let's get into the intuitive affirmations. Everything is exactly as it is meant to be. Sometimes unexpected experiences end up being our greatest blessings. I'm open to experiencing unexpected things. I'm open to experiencing new things. I'm open to experiencing who I am. I'm open to my self-growth and expansion. I'm open to connecting and loving unconditionally as I am and as I come. I am eternally grateful for all that is in my life and all that is to come, as I am deserving of all of the amazing things under the sun. It is okay for me to take a step back. I am a creator, and sometimes we have to take a step for ourselves in order to create our best creations. It is okay for me to rest. It is okay for me to focus on me. It is okay for me to give to myself just as much as it is okay for me to receive. I am abundant. I am love. I am unconditional. I am exactly as I am, as I come. I'm exactly where I need to be all of the time. And I trust in myself and I trust in the universe that everything will be just fine. Kissy for you. Okay, so let's jump into the topic. Self-commitment. I feel like, let me talk about my perspective real quick, because I feel as though self-commitment, when you commit to self, you're committing to everything that is in alignment with you and your truth. And this includes your passions or career path. This includes family. This includes connections, relationships. This includes your self-growth, your expression. Everything that is true to you, everything that is in alignment with who you are and where you are going on this path is a part of self. So that's why I feel that when you commit to yourself, you are committing to everything that is connected with you, everything that is meant for you, everything that you are creating or expressing or manifesting, right? So let's talk about why I feel that we should just focus on that self-commitment. Like, I've always told myself, like, for those of you who are seeing the video, hello, how are you? I have a ring on my ring finger. And no, I'm not engaged or married. I'm actually a singly pringly. But I put this ring on my ring finger as a physical sign of my self-commitment. And so when someone comes along and I'm in a relationship, I'm still going to have that self-commitment. You know what I'm saying? by me committing to my self-growth and becoming the greatest version of myself, I'm committing to the idea that the greater the more in tune I am with myself, the greater version of myself I am, and the greater I can show up for other people, and the greater I can love them. Right? So it's like, no matter what you feel that you have to commit to outside of yourself, if you commit to yourself, your self-growth, your self-healing, and whatever you do internally, right, you are automatically and naturally going to commit to those passions outside of yourself, because there's still a manifestation of you. You know, those connections with other people, or our soul tribe, right? Those connections, they are an extension of our being, and that's why we're able to naturally connect in that way. So by committing to yourself, you are also committing to the fact that this person or these people are also, in a sense, a part of my essence, a part of my being. They are part of why I'm on this earth, and that is why they have crossed my path. So I'm also committing to their connection, or our connection, right? So it's like such an easy dynamic. And I feel like when I think of it that way, it puts less pressure on me, because through my perspective, I'm someone who likes to do a lot of different things. And in my mind, I used to identify all of these things as separate things outside of me. So if it's music or art or writing or poetry or open mics or whatever it may be, I saw that, I viewed it as a separate commitment. And so I would really pressure myself, because I'm like, oh, I need to commit to this week, and I need to do this, and I need to work on it, and I need to focus on it. And so I would take my focus away from myself, and I would focus on that person, place, or thing, right? Or that passion. And changing that perspective, shifting that paradigm to understanding that these passions are not commitments outside of myself. It's a commitment to myself, because they are in an aspect of my self-expression that is authentic and organic for me. And in the process of me committing to myself and using these tools as an expression, it's also helping me heal and become the greatest version of myself. So it's all like a little cycle. It goes right back to me. It goes right back to me healing and growing and committing to my spiritual journey. So like, yeah, that's my perspective on it. I do feel as though all we ever have to commit to is ourselves. You know, I've heard a lot of people say like, oh, when you are in a committed relationship, you have to commit to that person. You have to become one with that person. It's like, I understand what you're saying, but personally, I feel that whether you're in a relationship or not, whether it's romantic, platonic, whatever, committing to yourself, your self-growth, your self-love, your self-balance, and your energy, it's going to commit to them if they are someone that you are truly in connection with authentically. Now, the things that are forced in your life, the things that are not organically in alignment with you, you're not going to naturally commit to it. So if you feel that you have to pressure yourself and force yourself to commit to something outside of yourself, maybe you should rethink, is this really in alignment with me? Because naturally, when we commit to our self-growth and our self-healing, we are going to naturally commit to those things outside of ourselves that are also in alignment with our growth and our healing and the evolvement of becoming our better selves. So kind of my experience with that lately, it's definitely been with connections, understanding that, you know, I don't have to view it as being a chore or a job. Ooh, that's what we're gonna start talking. That's what we're gonna talk about right now, because I used to view a lot of things outside of myself as a job or a role, right? And to me, that was a separate commitment. And because I viewed it separately from myself, my self commitment, I would feel that I had to change certain aspects of myself in order to quote unquote fit that role, or in order to be you know, a good character for whatever role or experience I'm in. Excuse me. And it would start to feel like a job, right? So that's me placing myself in a space where I'm no longer committing to my journey, my myself, my internal world. I'm now committing to an outside object, place, or thing or experience and kind of removing myself from my actual internal experience through my eyes, if that's making any sense. I hope it is. But I would do that. And so it really took away from the actual experience of self and knowing thyself and exploring thyself and experiencing life through my eyes and through my personal authentic perspectives. And so once I did change that, it was like, this isn't a job. This is an aspect of me that is manifested in the physical reality. So if it's like art, I like to sculpt sometimes in my free time, like a hobby. Or I like to write poetry. I love to write poetry. And these are all aspects of my self-commitment, because if I want to heal or express or just allow my energy to flow naturally, I use these tools like sculpting or writing to express that aspect of myself. So they are a projection of myself, right? So committing to myself is also committing in a sense to these hobbies. So I also do want to kind of mention that self-commitment isn't just all about discipline. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been hearing that word being thrown around a lot. And maybe it's because the universe is trying to tell me, like, girl, you need to be a little bit more disciplined. I'm gonna lie to you, but I'm like, okay, like, stop trying to put me on blast. But also, discipline can look like you allowing yourself to simply be and rest. Like I did this week. This week, I felt so pressured. I was like, damn, like, there's changes happening in my life that are very catastrophic, that are really big, and it's going to change so much of what I do moving forward. But I still felt so pressured to commit to recording and making videos and just creating and posting and staying connected and being on socials and whatever. And then I realized that, if I am committing to myself, I need to understand that in order for me to show up as my best self in these creations and express in my most authentic version, I have to make sure that I'm also disciplined in my resting. Whether it's actually sleeping or if it's just sitting with myself and allowing myself to feel that I don't have any creative juices flowing through me, right? Sometimes we need to rejuvenate that fountain. Sometimes we need that time to understand, okay, well, this isn't hydrating me anymore. What can I do to replace it? And we're not going to know that if we don't give ourselves that time and that space to understand, right? So discipline isn't just you constantly working or constantly pushing yourself. Discipline can also look like you allowing yourself to rest, allowing yourself to be human, allowing yourself to feel like you don't want to do things. You know what I'm saying? Like I've realized that, and so that's why I took that this little week away from creating. Like, I know I posted something on Instagram, and that was something that came naturally from me committing to my rest. You see what I'm saying? So it's like you will naturally manifest these creations and manifest the energy for these passions if you just commit to yourself. And this is something like, I always say it, where it's like, when I meet someone, or if I want to be in like a relationship with someone, whether it's platonic or romantic, whatever, I'm like, I don't want you to commit to taking care of me or worrying about me or like wanting to give to me so much. I want your number one priority to be you. Period. That's it. I want your number one priority to be you always, 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 because you cannot feel that you can prioritize someone else and love them and care for them and give them the things that they're deserving of if you are not giving yourself the things that you are deserving of. We might have to repeat that again, because I know some people in the back, my little people pleasers, people lovers, they're like, what now? But yes, bro, like, you cannot feel that you're in the right space to give to someone and be there to care for them and prioritize them and quote unquote commit to them if you're not recharging your own love tank. If you're not recharging your own energy, you're not going to have anything to actually give to them. So it's like, when you commit to yourself, you are committing to the fact that, yes, I want to love, I want to care, I want to express, I want to share my energy. But I cannot do that. I cannot give a person what they are deserving of if I do not understand my own my own love, my own energy that is flowing through me, right? There's this process, and it all starts internally. Everything outside of yourself is just a manifestation and projection of your own internal world. So if you want to be successful in the physical world, you have to commit to yourself. Let them the fuck know. You have to commit to yourself. No excuses. There's no shortcuts. There's no there's no cheat codes. Like, you need to commit to yourself. And that's not only discipline, but it's also having that sense of self-love, that having that space to simply be or rest or to express and be authentic and study yourself. You know, there's so many different aspects of thyself that I feel like sometimes we might like experience one aspect of ourselves and we like it and we're like, oh, like this is me, this is what I'm going to share. But then moving along in a path, we realize that there's so many different aspects of our being that we're continuously always learning more about ourselves, always understanding more about ourselves, always like discovering something new about our internal world and our internal being. And it's such a beautiful process, right? But sometimes we might get lost in these ideas and desires that are physical or materialistic or just in a metaphysical aspect of the world, right? Where we kind of forget that we're still on this path, we're still taking those steps, and we're still revealing and unlocking different parts of ourselves. And in order to really see that, you need to be self-committed. So everything I'm saying is just going back to self-commitment. I feel like, excuse me. Yeah, I ate a sandwich before this, so I'm a little burpy. I'm not gonna lie to you. But everything is going back to self-commitment, is the idea and understanding that self-commitment is the key to your success. It is the key to your health. It is the key to your healing. It is the key to relationships and connections and careers and whatever it is that you want to achieve in this lifetime, right? It all goes back to your self-commitment. How committed are you to your own personal path and your own personal growth and evolvement? And how are you reflecting that? How are you giving yourself the time and the space to understand, what am I committing to? You know, you need to understand who you are if you're going to commit to yourself. And it's something that's not going to happen overnight, obviously, but part of that self-commitment is committing to the fact and knowing that I'm an eternally changing and growing being. And that self-commitment is me committing to the fact that I'm always gonna be different one second and need something different the next second. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not just one shape, one size all of the time. We are organic beings. We're always going to change. There's always going to be more that we need to understand and learn about ourselves. And even if you don't know who you are yet or what you represent or what your internal world is reflecting, that's okay. That self-commitment is you committing to learning who you are, studying who you are, giving yourself the space and the time and the energy to actually explore your being, right? It's all just self-commitment. All right? It's all just self-commitment. And sometimes like I just had like a little thought pop up. It's like, even people who they feel that their mission is to help people, amazing, incredible. You are committing to yourself by representing that aspect of yourself that loves to help people. You are committing to expressing and nurturing your internal world in a matter that you're able to express and nurture those around you. That's still self-commitment. You can feel that you're committing to other people or other causes or projects and things as such. But if these are things that are in true alignment with yourself, in reality, you're committing to yourself because it's an expression of your internal world. This goes to my last episode. If you haven't watched it, definitely tap in, because that was a really good one. I was talking about how you can voice your internal world, you know, turning this internal world, this internal map and blueprint that no one else can ever translate, and creating a voice for it and expressing it in ways that the world can see it and use their five senses to better understand what's going on inside of your body, your mind, your soul, and your spirit. You know, and it all goes back to self-commitment. Self-commitment is so important. It's like I I feel like I experienced this in some of my last relationships, whether platonic or romantic, where it was like I felt that I had to commit to them and their healing and their growth and loving them and caring for them, that I kind of lost myself because I wasn't committed to myself. I wasn't committing to my self-love. I wasn't committing to the things that I felt were in alignment with me. I just felt that my role and my job was to take care of them or be there for them or give to them or cater to them or have them like represent certain things for me, you know what I'm saying? And I kind of lost that sense of self-love and self-balance and self-appreciation or acceptance overall. And so taking that step back and committing to my self-love journey and my healing journey allowed me to authentically connect with myself, and now I'm able to authentically connect with others without feeling that I'm giving too much or they're taking from me, right? Because girl, I'm at a point in my life where I'm like, no. If you gotta go, you gotta go. Sorry, not sorry, but that's part of self-commitment, you know, understanding that there are certain people, places, and things that we have to walk away from if we want to become the best version of ourselves. And that people pleaser in me used to fucking cry and get on my knees and be like, no, like, I don't want to get rid of them, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, that's not my responsibility, and it is not my job to cater to a person or heal a person or care for them or do things for them or heal them or make them the greatest version of themselves. That's their responsibility. If they were self-committed, they would already be on that path to healing and evolving, and you wouldn't have to worry about it. So if you're with a person that you feel that you have to constantly remind them to not do certain things, or you're constantly trying to push them to better themselves, better yourself, like, come on, you can do more, you can do this, and they're very neglectful of that and they don't want to do it, it's because it's not your responsibility. You can tell a person that they're amazing a million times. You can give them the blueprint, literally step by step, and they're not going to follow it unless they're self-committed to their own self-growth, you know, and that was something that was kind of difficult for me to understand, because I want to see people at their best, you know. Ever since I've started to commit to my self-growth and I saw that I can improve by giving myself that energy and love, I'm like, okay, let me try to share that with you so that maybe you can, you know, experience that same feeling that I've experienced. That's not how it works, obviously. But it's like, you know, it's like if we all just were self-committed, not to the point where it got like super cocky and competitive, because that's not self-commitment. That's you committing to your ego and allowing your ego to run things, right? You're still ignoring an aspect of yourself. That's why you're in a position where you feel that you're better than others or that people are below you. No, babe, that's all ego act. That's not organic. That's not authentic. What I'm saying is, if we committed to this self-commitment, this idea that we just need to love and cater ourselves so that it can reflect to others, you know what I'm saying? Like, become our greatest selves and understand ourselves enough so that we're able to give the best to other people, it would be so much better in this world. Like, so much harmony, so much love and bliss going along, like not as much hatred, because I feel as though people who hate and are constantly, you know, trying to deter or corrupt the lives of others is because they don't have that sense of self-love, self-acceptance, self-commitment, you know. So they look for other things to distract them from how much they actually hate themselves and how much they don't accept themselves, and that's not your responsibility. That's completely theirs. They're not committed to their self-worth. They're not committed to their self-growth. They're not committed to their evolvement. But if you are committed to your evolvement and your self-love and your healing and your resting and whatever, you know, you are going to understand that what someone else is doing, it has nothing to do with me. The way that someone responds has nothing to do with me. The way that people see the world has nothing to do with me. If they are in alignment with me, they're going to stay on my path, and I'm going to feel it and sense it because I already know what I need, and I already know what aspects of myself feel organic to me because I'm committed to myself. You know what I'm saying? And if they're not in alignment with me, I'm okay with walking away, because walking away is also part of that self-commitment. I'm committing to the fact that whatever comes and goes, it's an aspect that is either teaching me or it's meant to stay in my life and nurture me and nurture my energy. You know what I'm saying? So, whatever. Like, self commitment. This is the motherfucking one. That's number one. Number one. I feel like for everyone, self commitment is the number one thing that we should be taught, because self commitment is self love, it is healing, it is resting, it is connections, it is passions. Like, it is literally everything that makes up our reality. It is everything that is expressed from our internal world. So I just feel like it's really important. So I wanted to kind of sit down and talk about it. I mean, I feel like everything I said low-key was the same exact thing because it's the same message, but I just wanted to try to explain it in different forms. But yeah, man, how are you guys committing to yourselves? I wish we can just like speak like in person, you know what I'm saying? So, excuse me. But yeah, I had to take this week off. I was like, you know what? Like, there's so many times I set up the light and the camera and the microphone. I was like, okay, I'm gonna record. But then as I sat down, I'm like, you know what? This doesn't feel authentic to me. This feels like I'm pressuring and forcing myself to get this done. You know what I'm saying? It didn't really feel like discipline. It felt like I was forcing myself. So, yeah, I don't know. I hold a lot of gratitude for everything in my life, even if there are experiences that are unexpected or changes that are unexpected and people, places, and things that are unexpected. Is like, I understand that no matter what comes and goes in my life, everything that I need is internally. And I'm committed to that idea. I'm committed to the things that are valuable within me, because what is valuable within me is everything that is me, right? We bring that value into this life. We bring that love. We bring that abundance. We bring all of the amazing things under the sun here. Okay, so just you existing, you're already setting that basis for self-commitment. Now it's just you need to actually commit to your self-growth and commit to understanding who you are and commit to being you. And like I said, if you don't know who you are, that's okay. Like, accepting that you don't know who you are is part of that self-commitment. Accepting that, okay, there's still a lot for me to learn about me. And maybe for me to learn that, I just have to go out and experience things I've never experienced before, right? Pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone, that's self-commitment. Allowing yourself to experience new connections, that's self-commitment. Allowing yourself to walk away from old connections and past things that no longer serve you, that's self-commitment. You know? So there's just, when you do things for yourself, and sometimes it is, choosing to be quote unquote selfish, which I don't think it's selfish, but when you're choosing to live your life through your eyes and see the world and your experiences as a learning experience, or just tools, or just like an adventurous little game, that is self-commitment, because you're not allowing anyone or anything to tell you that, oh, you're not supposed to do this. You're like, no, I'm doing this because I feel that this is right for me, right? I'm doing this because I feel that this is what I need in order to become the best version of myself. You are the best version of yourself right now as you speak, because the future hasn't happened. The present moment is the best version of everything in life, right? Of your reality. And sometimes being in that present moment and allowing yourself to be in that present moment, that's also self-commitment. You're allowing yourself to experience yourself and your reality and the world and the other souls around you in the present moment as you are right now. Because when you're allowing yourself to do that, you're also going to expand your mind and expand your essence and expand the idea that everything that I need is here right now. So by me experiencing it and being here in the present moment, it's allowing me to learn more and gain more and give more and express more and evolve more. And so the next day, I'm going to be a greater version of myself automatically, authentically, because I just absorb these experiences, whether subconsciously or consciously. I took in this information from the universe in the present moment. And it's allowing me to unlock these different versions of myself. That's self-commitment. So it's like, it just all goes back. It all goes back to self-commitment, babe. Sometimes self-commitment can feel difficult, right? When we talk about walking away from things that we feel have become a part of our life, or have become something that we truly care about, or we feel that we connect to it. Sometimes it's taking that step back and asking yourself, why do I connect to this? And in what ways is this beneficial in my life? And I used to feel guilty for asking myself that question, because when I would say, okay, in what ways is this person benefiting my life? I felt like a fucking shitty ass person, because I'm like, wait, I don't want this person to be in my life just to give to me. And I know that wasn't true, right? But it was that perspective of constantly having to please people, where it was like, okay, I know that I can give to this person. I know that I make them feel comfortable and happy, but they don't make me feel comfortable and happy. And so I kind of accepted that aspect. And I was like, okay, they're in my life because I'm meant to make them feel comfortable and happy. But that's not fair, because then if you let that draw out in the long run, I'm being drained while the other person is being replenished. That other person is stealing your blessings. Your energy is your blessings. Your presence is the blessing. So if that person is not acknowledging it and holding space for appreciation and gratitude of who you are and what you bring to the table, and in some way reflecting it back to you, it's not an equal exchange connection, and it's honestly not worth it, because there are a million people, in this world who are going to be open and willing to receiving and taking your energy, because it's a beautiful energy, right? But not everyone is going to be in a space where they're able to reciprocate that energy. So you, as part of your self-commitment, is opening your space up to people who are willing to reciprocate that energy. And I would feel really selfish and guilty for wanting that, for wanting more in connections, for wanting to feel appreciated, for wanting to feel acknowledged and accepted in certain connections. And it was almost like a sense of self-sabotage, because I wasn't committed to myself anymore. I was committing to them and their comfort and their experience and their life and their healing and whatever, their wounds, right? And so once we disconnect from that self-commitment, we disconnect from our most authentic path. And that's why I'm having this conversation, because all these experiences, they just taught me that self-commitment is the number one and only commitment that we need to have in this life. This life isn't about anyone else. It's truly about your internal world. And your internal world is going to authentically and naturally project and manifest and express all of the things that the world around you will need, right? So this path is just your self-commitment. This path is about understanding thyself. And it's one that's there's so many twists and turns. Like, nothing is ever linear on this path. It's always going to be crooked and loopy and twisty and all of these crazy things. But part of that self-commitment is understanding that, right? It's accepting that. It's accepting that there's going to be pain and suffering. It's accepting that there's going to be moments that don't feel the best, right? That don't feel comfortable. And sometimes self-commitment can look like you allowing yourself to be uncomfortable. You allowing yourself to experience these negative or painful experiences and moments, so that you can understand and appreciate those moments when you don't feel that pain anymore. Appreciate those people, places, and things who don't make you feel the way that you used to feel, right? In order for us to understand what is good for us and understand what we need and what we want in this life, we need to experience the things that we don't need, the things that we don't want, the things that are not good for us. And that's part of self-commitment. Self-commitment is like, it's such a lightweight word, but it holds a lot of fucking weight. Such a simple word, but it holds a lot of weight, because it is the premise of everything, of absolutely everything. At least that's what I believe, after hearing some of my perspective in the best way that I could explain it. Tell me how you feel about it. Like, what are your perspectives, do you feel that we commit to different things outside of ourselves, or do you feel that everything that we authentically connect or commit to are actually commitment things? What do you think? What are your views? What are your views? You know, I like to end my episodes with some questions. So that's the question for you. Like, do you feel that we commit to separate things, or is everything just a reflection of our self-commitment? That is the question for you, my bit of a my bit of a sale. That is your question for this week. You know, this episode, I wouldn't say it was all over the place, but I don't know. I'm gonna listen back to it and kind of see. I feel like taking this week off is like, ooh, I feel very raw and fresh kind of coming back onto this and recording again. So I don't know, maybe I felt that I had a little bit of difficulty expressing some things because I haven't done this in a little bit. So, but yeah, tell me, what are your thoughts? I hope you have an amazing morning, day, evening, night, whatever it may be for you, because you're deserving of the best and only the best things the universe has to offer. And remember, part of self-commitment is also resting. There's this quote, I don't know it quote by quote, but word by word, but I know it went something like, creatives have to take some time to not be seen, or something like that. Something like that, I don't know, but that was the quote. And it reminds me that I don't have to constantly be creating and expressing or giving something to you in order to be valuable or seen as an artist. Sometimes the artists and creatives have to take some time to themselves, to kind of recoup themselves, to acknowledge who I am, so that everything that I express is authentic and organic and a natural reflection of who I am, right? So I just want to put that out there. You don't have to constantly be on this super work creating mode, okay? I love you so much. Make sure you guys stay connected with me. All of my socials are in the link tree in the bio, if the bio is there. And I love you so much. And I will see you whenever I see you, okay? Peace.